time comes, we have the ability to rotate down and push the flank. Big thing of holding tough floors, you don't want to be sitting inside of like this wooded area by the bombs. Like this right here, if you draw a line across this beam, this is about as far forward, and then if you draw a line right here, like this little box, this is pretty much the only safe spot where from the skylight this entire floor. So with that in mind, you definitely can't put all 5 guys in this little spot and expect to hold the site. So how do we get around that is that we breach, and then we breach right here, reinforces the walls right next to it. And what that does is that gives us the ability to rotate in and out along with hold this site safely, and it gives us control that section along with control here without actually being there. All the reinforced walls right there, and we'll reinforce generally this wall right here, and then use the shotgun, and we'll blow open a nice big line right here. We do that so that we can have them sitting back in icebox so that they're safe from skylight and the windows, and that they can sit here and they can hold these 2 windows right here pretty easily. So the enemy team is going to primarily try to push this hatch and then into cigar. So in order to help kind of counter that, we barbed wire up this section here, take a system right down or right there. Generally toss a bout cam somewhere like up here, maybe that corner there, maybe shoot out this glass and put it there or there. A lot of different little spots. This is a pretty condensed area, so you can fit one in pretty easily. Another spot you're going to want some barbed wire. You're going to want barbed wire on the white stairs over here. Generally, you know, halfway up this section here, halfway up the stairs itself, and then on top, take 3 barbed wire. That'll just give you plenty of time when they're hitting barbed wire to be aware of it. Another thing that we'll like to do is we'll prep these windows, like so, and we'll prep the windows so that if they try to play these east windows, you can jump out the window and trade out 1 for 1, because generally if you jump out that window, you're not going to be alive to come back inside most of the time. I'm not saying every time, but if you're going to do that, it's a good idea to press this window with 2 tabs. Then you can even take out this window or that door also. So we say that you're going to have a guy on site kind of on the east corner in that little safe spot that I showed. And then I like to play somebody in the kind of jammed up in this corner right here. And from here, you want this guy to have an ACOG. And you want the guy who sits in that corner to be a 3 armor with an ACOG. And so we like this guy to kind of sit here, wait, just kind of wait. And if they try to repel through this window, you get the easy kill as they come inside. Another guy I like to hide somebody in this section here. They'll generally be prone to one extent or another. And the reason we have him hiding over here is so that if they come through these windows, he can get the kills. And it takes a little bit of pressure off the guy that's over here to hold both of those. It also gives good crossfire if they do come through the door. If they end up getting in and try to push this door, if you do have a guy here, a guy over there, you have a guy over there. So there's 3 lines of sight onto the spot. This guy here can easily turn around and help out on the backside. Same thing with this guy. This guy can turn around and help out on the side also. You're also going to want to put a little bit of barbed wire directly under the hatch, just in case somebody does like a fast drop in. They're probably not going to repel in, so they'll probably be killed before they board. But you never know. A spot that I like to hold on the back here, if these windows aren't opened yet, is I like to jump up onto this. You can hold this door right here. It's a slightly different angle that people aren't necessarily going to be. Their crosshairs aren't going to be this high when they're walking in. And so you get, you know, that split second when they have to move their crosshairs, you can potentially get the kill. But if you're actually on top of this, you won't get seen, like, you won't get hit from skylight. And I mean, they can drone you out pretty easily, and you can get shot from below really easily. But from skylight itself, you're not going to get hit. So that's just something to think about. Also, you're going to want to prep that so you can go down if need be. So we're talking for 3 sites. We want 1 guy here, 1 guy in here, 2 guys over there, and then your 5th guy can be a downstairs roamer, or idea is just kind of wait, because they can only push the windows or the stairwells, and so they're funneled in, and so you have to do is just wait and wait and wait and pick them off one by one while they come into crosshairs.
Secure the bomb.
Alright, so now we're gonna be on the middle floor site, on second floor, with mining and dining. What we'll do is you need to reinforce the hatch for sure. You also need to reinforce those two walls right there. Maybe those two there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reinforcements. 8 right here. If you so choose to reinforce those, I'll generally reinforce these 3. Those 2 there for 5, hatch 6, and then these 2 right here I'll reinforce. And the reason that we'll do that is because we're gonna want to try to hold the cigar lounge for as long as possible. Considering cigar lounge is generally like the focal starting point for all attacks on Kafe, just with its locationing in relationship to the bomb site itself. So I like to put 1, if not 2 guys up here, and my team and I have adopted kind of a castle strat, so we'll reinforce that, we'll castle right here, we'll castle right here, shoot up this hatch, we'll get a crawl hole through here, and then a crawl hole through here, we'll castle right here, barbed wire this hallway, and the reason that and we'll have so that if there's a point where we have to fall back without dying, we can easily rotate. We got castle barricades on either side, fall right back into the site here, or we can fall into the site over here. And in doing that, it gives us a little bit of reassurance that we can get out. Also, what we'll do is if you jump onto this table here, shoot out this right here. That's the window in the A site, so you can hold that window from way back here. What we'll also do is we'll reinforce this wall right here. We'll just off the side of it, like so. And with that, we can have somebody sit fairly safely behind over here and hold that window once they actually get inside. You don't necessarily hold the window, but you wait for them to get inside, and you can kill them quite easily. And you're safe from the north side because of all of this. You can't shoot. So it's a safe spot to be at. Once they get control of the top floor, if they get control of the top floor, then you're gonna have to rotate because the ceiling's gonna be completely destroyed above you. So that's what we like. We like 1 guy, 2 guys inside of the train museum itself. We don't play anybody in mining because you'll die. 1, 2 guys upstairs, and then our last guy, I like to have him play on this east side over here in reading, or by reading, not necessarily in reading, but he'll kind of help out on this section here. And if they do push in to the site from the west or the north window over here, or the I'm making that huge so we can see. He can come up behind this dresser or this bookcase right here, and he can sit, and you can see this window right here. So if you know that they're going to be pushing that, it's not a bad idea to, you know, make some punch holes or maybe some kill holes on either side of it, just so that if you get a call out that they're there, you can get the free fire through the wall and, you know, pick them off. And they're not going to know exactly where you're coming from, especially if you come back here. Some small kill holes. Then they'll have, even if you open it all up, just open up kind of like it is right now, kill holes on both sides. It'll really disorient the other team, and it'll make them hesitant to push this hallway, which is a big part of the actual push of getting into the site. They'll get control of top floor, but then they have to push in from somewhere. And pushing in from the window, there's generally a lot of barbed wire, and it's generally unsafe. There's generally barbed wire here, but they have reinforcements, so it's kind of safe. But if you open this up and make them feel like they're not safe to push this, especially if you do it a little bit later in the round, not during the prep phase, so that you're like, okay, we can do this. They drone it out, 30 seconds left. Aw crap, this is all opened up. because then they'll be like, okay, well now we have to rethink our strat. Another thing to kind of help with that holding is we'll put a shield right here, reinforce this wall here, and stop off the back of this wall. So you have a guy that's gonna sit here, and if they just the shield will keep him protected, and then the hole's behind him. So if he gets up, he can shoot this, or you can lean this way, get up, shoot this, shoot any of this as it comes after they come through, especially if they're like aware of those holes behind him. So that's kind of the idea. Again, the idea is to really hold that top floor and stall for as much time as possible, because actually planting on this site is pretty difficult. It requires a lot of ticks without being traded, and so that's kind of the big thing here is make sure that you can stall for time. Kafe is a lot of stalling for time, and it seems really boring, and it is really boring as a defender, because you're not going to be like running around all over the place trying to get kills. You're just going to be waiting for the enemy to have to push into the site and push into your crosshairs. But it works, so that's the basic idea that I'm going to leave you guys today is stall for time when on defense, especially on Kafe. Stall for time on every map, but Kafe is really important to stall for time just because the layout of it. And if they can't get that hatch blown, they have to push down the stairs or over the balcony, and then they get funneled, and there's a lot of drops and angles. I know it's really clustered when they try to do that. So guys, we're gonna move over to attack now. Alright guys, now we'll go back on attack. I'm gonna go over how to attack the middle site, the dining and mining. First objective is to get control of the top floor, which is pretty much how I said they were doing during my talk on this site. So first thing, you're gonna want to come over and have this hatch breached, whether it be ash breach or breaching charge, ash charge on it. When doing so, this wall is probably going to be reinforced, probably going to be some barbed wire here. There might even be a guy down these stairs, this kind of just waiting for you to drop. He's going to come up and try to get the pick. So just things to be aware of. You're probably going to drone that out. Once you get upstairs, you're going to get funneled through this door right here. When you come through this door right here, first thing you want to look is back into this site here. See a kind of a real small angle there. You're gonna be aware of that. And then your next spot isn't actually right when you peek this door. It's actually when you step up. It's gonna be right back here, waiting for you to step inside a little bit. So that's the first spot you can check. Once you've droned it out and you have an idea there's somebody here, this is one of the first spots you're gonna want to look, because they can come to this hallway right here. Next, you're gonna check this angle here. And then lastly, once you get all of this under control, there's only one more spot. That's back here. If you don't see them, but you know they're here, they're right here. They're hiding. They're gonna be hiding right there. See all my bullets? Will go right through somebody, and that guy's dead. I know. You hide prone right here, and the enemy team sometimes won't drone you out properly. So, say that you've gotten control of the top floor. You're gonna want to breach this hatch. We use Havana for this, and sometimes we won't even come inside. Just have Havana above the window here. After we get that other hatch open, we'll have her repel up the window. No, you should have seen it. You can kind of see it right, the hatch right there. See the hatch. But she can actually repel up those windows and hit it. She can also hit it from this window here. So you can just have somebody repel up and shoot their charge onto the hatch, and it works. So something that we've done in the past. Once you get control of that, you're gonna want to make sure that you have some of this broken, so that you can quickly drop down once the time comes to push the other site. But you're gonna want to then have your buck or your fuse and your fuse, whatever you have, start busting this floor up. You just completely destroy this floor. You don't want them to be able to sit inside a tray at all. So these are just that might be when I will place ours. If you place a little bit closer, this stuff will get blown up too. But I kind of miss, so I'm just gonna blow this stuff up. There we go. So that gets blown up, and that gives you sight onto this green door right here. You can obviously see this portion right here. You can see that you're like right above this corner here. And then, so this is where people are like to hide a lot, is inside this green tray. And then another spot that we like to breach this will give you again an angle into green right here on the other door of it, along with this back corner here and this corner here. So if you want just a basic idea of where to put your breaching charges, just kind of put them on the tables, and it'll give you majority control of the site. And then you can have your buck come through and fill out the floor and do what buck does. We have all that blown, we have hatch blown, and we're picking people off in the site, but there's probably going to be one guy on that site for doing that. So we put our Habana up top, and then we'll take our thermite once we know we have control of top floor. We'll have somebody push up from the basement, or not basement, but ground floor over here. We'll have them push up these stairs and hold a reading. After droning out this section, maybe they'll even push into this section to hold reading. And when they do that, we'll have our thermite come and to give us another line of sight to open this up. So if you want to get control of top floor, blow up top floor, have somebody on the windows here. And the idea is that you take out the top floor and you completely push everybody out of that room right there. And then you have somebody come in and plant, like in this section right over here, because they're covered from that side there. To get the plant down with coverage that you have from the stairs. Come get the plant, and then you just hold it from above. So a lot of the site is like getting control of the above floor and pushing people off the site. Again, you don't have to necessarily get the kill before you plant. It helps, obviously, but to get people off of the site so that you can plant, and then they have to come back to the site, and then they only have 2 doors to do that. So that's kind of the idea. You want to push everybody off and make them come back. Alright guys, so this time we're going to be going over how to attack the top on the site. And to do so, like I mentioned, you're going to want to get control of Cigar Lounge on the west side. So you're going to want to get somebody on the windows on so you have knowledge that they're not going to jump out of this door right here. So you're going to want to get somebody up on these windows once you reach the hatch in the main stairwell over here that we talked about earlier. So you want to reach that hatch, and then you want to get somebody on that window or this window or that window. Really just somebody on one of the windows to help with some pressure to try to move these guys around once the push starts to come. It's not a bad idea to put somebody up on this top corner of this window either, just so that you can hold this door if they try to like rotate away or rotate to. Then either way you'll have somebody there to take them out. It's also important that when you do this that you don't get stalled out on the roof, which is a big problem even at the highest professional level, getting stalled out on the roof where they wait and they wait and they wait for the defense to do something, step into sight, then they end up running out of time. So to keep from doing that, you want to come up and potentially have some pressure on white stairs over here. And so you can have people come up the stairs after you drone out and make sure it's clear. Have someone come up the stairs and put some pressure on this back side of the site. So most of the defenses are going to be oriented towards the west. So if you can get somebody up here, there's probably going to be some barbed wire up in this area. Drone it out. You know, they might have a guy hiding right here, maybe some guys inside a closet or an ice box there. And just putting a different angle of pressure on. Also, you can come up below and you can grenade or axe charge this, so this is in the ice box. So if you breach, you know, if they don't have the hatch shot out, which they might not, it might be a late game move, but you can reach next to it and you can throw grenades up through the floor and stuff, and you can kind of do the same thing back here. So like right here's the bomb generally, so you can come up, and if you know that they're sitting in, you know, this back corner here, you can grenade or ash charge right next to that hatch by the corner right there. So just one of those things that maybe you have to do a little bit of down up. It's not optimal, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So again, you're gonna want to put a little bit of pressure on this white side, and your main objective is to get control of the cigar lounge. So as I said, you have somebody on windows helping out. You reach the hatch, you get into this wall here, you get somebody to push into this corner, and then from here they can push up nice and slow and try to take out. There's generally going to be one guy, like I said, on that back east wall over here, and that's generally going to be a 3 armor character like a Rook or a Doc with an ACOG. So make sure that whoever you put up here is up for the fight. It's going to be a tougher one. Get that real quick headshot. They might have a rotate hole in one of these walls. They might not. They might have kills. It might be all reinforced. It's one of those things you're not totally sure. So you're going to breach this, and then if they have all of this reinforced, I would say breach this wall right here. The reason I say that one over this wall is because if you breach this one, you breach this and you get into here, but it's pretty easy if someone's in icebox, just step out and get back before getting traded out, especially if they're coming from this side and they can stay crouched. Because the angle from the door, they have to really expose themselves to get that. So that's why I would say this one, so that you can then get control of icebox control. Then it's safer to just go through the door and plant back in this section rather than blowing this wall out. But if you can breach both of them, by all means do it. Like, don't just not blow something up if you have the ability to get more line of sight and more control, especially when on the west side. It's very important. When you got that guy coming from the west side, if this guy hasn't made a big impact yet, maybe wait until you start blowing things up over there and then have this guy come through and absolutely decimate the team from behind of the guys that are last on site. And it'll be a pretty easy cleanup. So the main idea is to get into Cigar. Once you get control of Cigar, breach into Icebox, and then also maintain control up the stairs because someone might come up to try to flank you. Have maybe a guy up on the roof for a little bit, and then have a push from White Stairs as kind of your final push to really mess him up. And then while you're doing all that, you can try to get your flank down. So that's been how to attack and defend Kafe Dostoevsky. Tomorrow is the DLC drop, so I'll be going over the new operators. I have season pass, so I'll be able to go and play with those guys a little bit, give you some meta changing ideas. I'm not going to redo all the strats that I've already done, but what you will get is over the next few weeks you'll see a lot of gameplay from the new operators as I only have 4 days left, 5 days of the previous maps to do strats over, and with Bartlett University being the last one, I'm not going to do a strat map on the new map until I understand it better. I did record the demo, and I'm going to watch the demo a few more times to try to get see what they did, where things went wrong, and try to get a good understanding of that, so that when I at least go through the character walkthroughs, I can give some basic ideas. And the walkthroughs will be on the new map, just because it looks it looks beautiful, and I want to spend as much time on it as I can. But in the gameplay that you'll see over the next few weeks, I'll definitely make sure to use some of the new ops, especially Mira, as her learning curve is a little bit higher. You need a little bit more game sense to truly utilize her. So I'm gonna make sure that I understand how to use it, and my team and I work that one out before I start giving you guys information on how to use her, other than a real brief description during the initial impressions. I'm liking the new operators. I'm liking the new map. So I think year 2, season 1 it's a really good start for the rest of year 2. So guys, that's today. We'll have Yacht tomorrow. Yacht will be an interesting one, as my team and I don't play it a lot, and so our strats aren't real well defined, but we do know what we need to do. So it'll be a real basic one. Most of the bomb sites are at least somewhat viable. They're not great. The map itself just isn't that good. But on Wednesday we'll get Border. Border's a really fun map, very strat heavy map. So it's looking like things will get better. So guys, thanks again for staying, And that's just the basic loadout of how things are gonna go for the next little bit. See you guys next time.